The senior guard might be a little wobbly, but his legs were strong, as his tail was when he was in the water. Merletta could see the muscles bulging in that part of his legs that emerged from the scaled shorts. All that remained of his tail, once the transformation from merman to human was complete. She assumed that the men's shorts, like her own skirt, could be pulled away from the hips like snakeskin if desired. She'd never asked, of course. "You're doing well," she told August. "When I come back, we should try to increase your speed." She grinned. "You'll like running." "When you come back?" August repeated, with a shrewd look. "Does that mean you won't be here tomorrow?" "It's a rest day," Merletta reminded him. "I'll probably stay in the Triple Kingdoms." She drew a deep breath. "Next week is my final week before my third-year training commences, you know. I think it's time for me to approach your wife." August stilled, his eyes brightening. "You've found a way to speak to her without witnesses?" "I think so," Merletta said cautiously. "I'm going to try anyway. And I think I should do more than speak to her. I think I should bring her out here." Paul paused on his progress past them, raising an eyebrow. "Bring her here? To the island?" Merletta shrugged, her eyes still on August. "I don't know your wife well enough to be sure," she told him. "But if it were me, and a near stranger told me the man I loved was alive, when I'd thought him dead for months." For a moment she faltered, her mind flying unbidden to Heath, and what she'd felt when she hadn't known whether he'd survived the spear wounds these very guards had inflicted on him. "Anyway," she said, pulling herself together, "I wouldn't be content to just take their word for it. I would insist on seeing myself." "She'll feel the same way," said August simply. "But I'm not sure it's wise." "Neither am I," said Merletta frankly. "But I don't intend to make that decision for her." August's face twisted into a rueful smile. "She'll like you," he sighed. "I can't deny I'm desperate to see her." "Then it's settled." Merletta gave a decisive nod. "I'll stay in the Triple Kingdoms tomorrow, be seen about the place on Sage and Andre's rest day, and come back the day after, hopefully with a passenger." August held himself tensely as he nodded in acknowledgement. "I'd ask you to send my greetings to young Andre, but you still haven't told him I'm alive, have you?" Merletta shook her head, guilt gnawing at her. She'd intended to tell her friends about the 3 guards' survival immediately after her second-year test, but the reality had been a little more complicated. "I'm going to tell him tonight," Merletta said firmly. "I'll just have to find a way to make it work." "If you want to be back inside the Triple Kingdoms before sunset, you'd better get moving," Paul prompted. Merletta sighed, glancing at the sun. He was right. Sunset was still a few hours away, but the journey from Verzula to the Triple Kingdoms wasn't as straightforward as it had once been. "You'll be going in via Skulstead again?" August asked. Merletta nodded, slinging her kelp satchel over her back in preparation for departure. "Be careful." Griffin's voice alerted Merletta that he'd made it across the sand. She smiled at him, trying not to show how amusing she found his stern expression when combined with his unsteady stance. He acted sometimes like he was as old and commanding as August, rather than relatively near Merletta's age. She didn't mind, really. She was grateful that the guards she'd once believed murdered for her secrets didn't appear to blame her for unintentionally ripping them away from everything they knew and loved. If anything, they'd become quite protective of her. The thought once again drove her mind to Heath, and the sternness in his voice when he'd issued her a command of his own.